The Cavaliers said goodbye to their head coach, and I was wondering what that vacancy does, if anything, to the time frame of the Lakers if they're going to hire JJ Redick or whoever it is. Are they connected at all, these openings?
Well, it depends on who the Lakers' top choice is. If the Lakers' top choice is indeed JJ Redick, and I don't know that it is, I think that he's a strong candidate there. Their competition is the finals on ABC because JJ is calling the finals on ABC, and I would think that if he's hired as the coach of any team, it would be difficult to call the finals, and that's his job right now. So that's an interesting byproduct that we don't always get. There are other candidates. I think James Borrego is a name that I feel like I'm the only one bringing up. James Borrego is a very accomplished coach who got a raw deal when he got, in my opinion, got a raw deal when he got fired in Charlotte, and is a strong candidate, especially for a team like Cleveland that needs offensive intervention. And I think he's a strong candidate in L.A. because, if nothing else, he's got a very good relationship, as far as I know, or he's got a relationship with Anthony Davis. So, but in theory, yes, they are competing a little bit for the same type of coach. The Cleveland situation is more tied to Donovan Mitchell than anything, because this move is at least in part related to Donovan Mitchell. And I think that'll make the Cavs potentially more aggressive. And frankly, the Cavs have demonstrated a more willingness to spend than the Lakers. So that, I don't know if that'll be a factor. I don't know if it'll come down to a coach deciding between the two. But the last time the Lakers were in a bidding war for head coaches, they lost them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that'll happen, but it's interesting history to know.
Yeah, you bring up the valid point of it's not normal when you go, this guy would get the job, or they'd announce the job, or have an introductory press conference. You're the new head coach of the Lakers, but JJ Redick's going to be working for the next couple of weeks, which may be the holdup. And then the stories that come out, the reporting that LeBron's not involved. Why wouldn't LeBron be involved for maybe the last 2 years of his career on who's going to coach him? Like it almost seems even more important that he wants to know who's going to be here, and how do I get along with this guy?
Right. So this is one of these things where the only thing I can do as a reporter is ask the consumer for nuance. I can't guarantee the nuance. In this world of aggregation, something that I say in the next 2 minutes could be taken out, and my phone will explode. I can just beg you for nuance. Star players, typically, as you know, Dan, I'm not talking to you directly, I'm talking to your viewers and listeners. Star players typically do not make yes and no choices on coaches. It is unusual, not unheard of, but unusual for a star player to speak to a team and say, I want this individual fired today, come into the office and pound your fist, or I want this player hired. Star players make their feelings about their coaches known, not in one meeting, but in 6 months. And the executives who are with the team watch how a star player interacts with his coach for 6 months.
Okay.
And so, yes, I'm sure that there are discussions that happen, and there might even be a heads up given, hey, we're thinking about going this direction. Star players don't typically, again, you can find instances where this is not true, but typically star players do not want it on their hands that they are picking their coach, even if they help do that over the course of the season. So LeBron learned very early in his career he didn't want to get involved in that. And so he is never, as far as I know, I think maybe the one time where I think he played more of a direct role was when David Blatt was fired and Ty Lue was hired. But I honestly don't think he played a direct role in hiring of any of the coaches he's had. But then you could say, has he influenced the hiring and firing of coaches? Of course he has. So this is the thing. It's not simple to say. So when LeBron distances himself from the hiring of JJ Redick, it doesn't mean that he's not influencing the hire, but he's not going in there and saying, hire him. And you know what part of the influencing the hire is? You think the Lakers haven't watched the podcast or listened to the podcast? Do you think they haven't watched JJ Redick on and listened to his podcast with other guests and watch how he's interacted with other players? Is JJ Redick being hired because LeBron said hire him? Or, if he's hired, I don't know if he's going to be hired. If JJ got hired as the coach of the Lakers, okay, would it be because of one moment? No, but would the Lakers be influenced by the many hours that they have watched and listened to his podcast and watched him out with players? Yes. So does that mean the players want him as the head coach? Maybe. Does that mean they're going in and saying, get me as head coach now? No. And I hate to be beating this up, but I run into this every day during this time, and I know as soon as people listen to this, they'll say, "Yeah, well, LeBron's still making the decision," and I can't. I can only tell you what I experienced in actually talking to the primary sources here. If you choose not to believe that, you can do that. It's your choice.